The October 7th meeting of the Historic District Commission to order and ask the members to confirm receipt of the minutes for the meeting of September, which I'm sorry, we did not meet in September. We did not have quorum, so we're approving the minutes of the August Historic District Commission meeting, and we all have received those by email. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Salter, second. I'm trying to kind of word this. A second for Mr. Wilson, but I guess approve the minutes of the August, whatever meeting, I don't remember the date because it's not here.
I'm not sure what the.
So if you would correct that in the minutes so it's reflected, but a motion from Ms. Salter, a second from Mr. Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion passes. In old business, item 2.1, this is Herman Katz, Gleason, and Kane. This was a signage application last month that we gave without giving approval. We reviewed, confirmed that all was appropriate, so I asked for a ratification for this application.
Yes. I so move.
Second. I have a motion from Ms. Salter, a second from Mr. Donahoe to ratify that application. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion passes. Application 2.2 with Sidney Frederick at 732 2nd Street. It was a repair on the rear patio. Again, everything was in compliance. In the September meeting, we had no quorum, so we granted him provisional approval. I'm asking for ratification for 2.2. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll offer.
I have a motion from Mr. Wilson, a second from Mr. Donahoe to approve that or ratify that application. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. And that motion passes. Is there any other old business to come before the commission? If there's none, we'll move to new business. Item 3.1, City of Natchitoches, address 817 4th Street for demolition. Is anyone here from the city to present this application?
It will be myself
Okay.
for the city. We've been working with this application with Mr. Mandarino for a little over a year. I'm sorry, I'm so congested. I'm gonna talk as loud as I can. So we reached out to the family of 817 4th Street to try to get repairs done for the house. There were stipulations and steps that were put in place for the repair of the roof. Being that we had not received a permit or anything stating that the house would be repaired, the city recommended that the house be demolished, or recommended for demolition.
Okay. We visited with the family last month, and I emailed or spelled out or in an email the conditions for which we didn't have a meeting in month, but in the next month, certain conditions needed to be met in order to, in preparation, knowing that an application would be coming this month. Were those items that were listed in that email completed?
Not as far as the repairs of the house. She did state she has a contract, is what she told me tonight. I have not seen that, but she says she does have a contract in place.
No, I'm sorry, no. This week it will be in place because I just want my lawyers to get it.
Then we don't have a contract in place.
So in the listing of things that we require to be completed by this meeting, they have not been done?
No.
I would also like to point out that back in July, myself, Mr. Chantrell, Nicole, and the building inspector,
Mr. Joseph Miguez.
yeah, we all went out to the house, talked with the applicant, gave her names of people that would help clean up the yard, gave her names of roofers to contact, told her what needed to be done to clean up the yard. When I drove by last week, I couldn't tell anything had been done except maybe a new tarp put out on the garden area. But all that stuff that was in the driveway area is still there. Stuff on the front porch is still there. The roof is not fixed. None of that, as far as structural or anything, has been done.
Can I answer that?
As of this 27th of September, the notations, this is all as of September the 27th. Ma'am, I'll allow you to speak, but I'm going to allow 3 minutes.
the pictures that you wanted them to see.
There was, first of all.
You couldn't let them.
Is it
Ms. Salter,
Hasn't-
Dr. Horton.
Ms. Salter wasn't here, even though there wasn't a forum, we did meet and discuss it.
Right, I'm aware of that, yes.
And so I don't think you're aware of some of the things that we discussed that needed to be done. And one of them was not, there's a whole history of, I spent a lot of time dealing with every single one of the contractors that were recommended, and I've only been able to move forward since.
Ms. Mandarino, I'm gonna need you to come to the podium, but let them see your pictures.
Okay, so,
Come to the podium so we can get you on record, but let them see your pictures.
the pictures show a lot of work since the pictures that I briefly looked at that I don't have a copy of.
It's just front.
The fences are totally clear. The area that permission to tarp, we actually haven't tarped it, we've renewed it all. I want to also mention, there's never been a question, we're ashamed of what happened over the years. Gardening is part of my livelihood, and this is not a situation of getting a bulldozer to come in and just clear everything out. There was a garden under there. I hope you can see aspects of it in those pictures. So it was more like an archaeological dig and just a tremendous amount of handwork that you can't hire people to do. I had a list of things that needed to be done, and I do believe that 88% of that work was done. Moving the things in the driveway was not on my list. I was told by Ms. Salter that I could move them behind the carport, and we have to clear the area behind the carport. And our next set of work items that we're going to be doing is to make a frame around the existing, because that's the biggest eyesore now, is the carport that got crushed by the tree.
I don't mean to interrupt,
Sure.
but I think you're missing part of the point. I understand the garden does look better than what it did. The point is the house itself. The house has been rained in for a couple of years. It's bound to have mildew and mold in there.
Yes, there is a
It's not livable. And everything else around there is not good for the neighbors. If there's rats and all this other stuff amongst your things, it's not fair to all of the other neighbors around you. The house has got to be fixed, and that has not been addressed.
It's going to be.
The outside, as far as the garden goes, doesn't take a whole lot. I mean, yes, it's work, because I do it all the time in my garden.
From the summer.
But it's the house itself. You've had 2 years to get somebody to fix that
It's
house.
not 2 years.
They've been working on this project 2 years, is what I understand from the Office of Planning
Okay,
and Zoning.
June of last year is when the rear fell, the rear bough of the tree. The rest of the tree fell in August of last year. So it's been a little over a year.
Been over almost a year and a half. That we got back
A year
from,
and a half.
But my question to
Okay.
you is, why is the roof not fixed? You told us in July you had the money to fix it, and it is not
I
fixed.
thought I did because I was still dealing with the individual who, for lack of a better way to put it, kind of screwed us around all this time. We were doing other work on the property that needed to be done so that they could get proper access. So that was several months and into 2024. And I found out from other workers that I hired to do other work that he was not someone that should have been trusted. And this all happened around the same time because I had an appointment with him the same day that I ended up talking for the first time with Ms. Brock, which was in July. So that was the same day that y'all came out to the house. And the day after last meeting, I got on Angie's list, I got several options, because I spent weeks dealing with the people in Natchitoches, no offense to the Natchitoches contractors that you recommended. Most of them were too busy. The two contractors who said they could do it together said it would be 6 months before they could start. The gentleman, I can show you the contract, I haven't signed it yet because I want to look at it. The
Okay.
gentleman I'm about to get in contact with says he can start within 2 weeks. Basically, he needs me to clear stuff inside.
My understanding of our role in this process is simply a request by the city if we would approve the demolition of this house based on our standards under the historic district. The history about whether or not when the house is damaged, whether or not you've had adequate time to repair it, all those things, I don't really think that's a relevant issue for us. I think that that's more of a question for planning and zoning, for the city council if you appeal that, if you get an adverse decision from planning and zoning. I think the sole issue before us is, would we approve the demolition of this house? The facts leading up to it are irrelevant to us. I'm not saying irrelevant to you, but as far as our decision, I don't think they're particularly relevant. You know, the good thing for you about this process is, you know, whatever we decide tonight, this has still got to go to planning and zoning, and then you can appeal that to the city council. I mean, that is multiple a month process that if you do have this contract that you're going to enter into the next few days and you get the roof repaired within that time frame, I can't imagine that the city is going to demolish your house after you put a new roof on it. And so I don't think tonight's the end of the process for you. But as for us, I think the only question is, does this meet our standards to approve demolition of a structure? I don't think there's any doubt that looking at this structure that we would approve demolition of this property. I mean, it does not appear to us to me to be in a stable condition. That tarp's been up there for as long, maybe my memory's short, but as long as I can remember. And so, but I don't drive that way that much. But, you know, if it was in June of last year, that's 16 months ago, and that is almost a year and a half ago. And that's a long time to have a blue tarp on your house. But again, it's not the end of the world. You've still got at least a month or two to go through the process with planning and zoning to fix your house. And if you really are going to fix it, and you fix it, then your house isn't going to be demolished. But I would move at this time to approve the application for demolition.
Mr. Dunn, I'm going to pass a folder down. We've been dealing with the property since 2019, and there's the folder.
My motion stands to approve the application.
Do I have a second on the motion?
A second.
I have a motion for Mr. Donahoe, a second from Ms. Salter to approve the city's application for demolition. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. That motion passes.
Okay.
You pass that folder back down.
Pictures.
You're welcome to the pictures back, or we can put them in the folder, because this folder will end up going to planning and zoning for their consideration of the application. Okay, item on agenda, item 3.2, Exchange Bank and Trust, window replacements. And we've got Mr. President Newton here. And you'll notice in your packet, he has a memo to us, and he is asking to replace the doors on the 5th floor of the building. Mr. Newton, if you want to come to the podium, and you'll notice on page 22, 23, and 24 it is what he is suggesting as a replacement for those windows.
Hi there. Hey. Appreciate y'all taking the time to look at our application. What we're trying to do is, over time, those doors were put up when the building was constructed in 1984. So it's been there 40 years. So it's time. You can see from some of the pictures that I'd given you the deterioration. We looked at several options to replace those doors. Obviously, you can't just go to Lowe's and buy those doors. So we looked at having them built. We looked at different options. We came back with this being our best option to have the window. We wanted to retain the ability to get out on the little balconies that are up there, but we want to retain the look of what we have. So this was our best option, and what it will be, they will encase those, the opening to make it adhere to the window that we're talking about. But keep in mind, these are 5 stories up. So you're going to, the look from the street level is going to be what you see there now. We're just trying to protect the building, keep it from pigeons and everything else getting in it.
Oh, under the windows then, you will have either drive it that matches the building or.
That's correct.
Or what are you planning to put underneath that?
It's going to be it'll be built up with a white, basically, it'll have the same build-up as what you see on those doors right there.
Okay.
I move to approve the application.
You're painting, I guess, the same color and all.
Same color, everything will look the same.
I have a motion from Mr. Donahoe, a second from Ms. Robinson, to approve the application as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
passes. Thank you. Okay, application 3.3, Alex Pontov, 120 Texas Street. And this is an application for roof replacement. And it's on page 25 of your packet. Anyone here to represent that application?
I don't think he came.
There's no one here, so we will move past that one, go to application 3.4. Darrell Walker, Sweetie's Barbecue, 401 Texas Street. Wait. Oh, you've got some. I'm sorry. Back up. 120 Texas Street. You should go to the podium so they can record you speaking. I apologize, I did not see you there. And in that packet, if you look on page 27, you'll see the roof choices that he is proposing. Okay, tell us about what you're wanting to do.
Let's see, you'd really need to talk to, I was sent down here in another man's place. So,
Y'all gonna replace the roof?
replace the roof with a Moray black 50-year architectural shingle. And as far as that, they didn't have samples for me to pick up today.
No, it's this, so you're saying it's the bottom one?
The Moray black.
Okay, so it's replacing the asbestos roof that's on the property with Moray black.
Yes, sir.
And it's on the bottom left of 27.
It's straightforward, it sounds like.
Seems.
Yeah, I move to approve
Motion
it.
to approve.
I second.
I have a motion from Ms. Salter, a second from Mr. Donahoe to approve the application for roofing, noting that it is Moray black, and he has an attached picture for that. All those in favor of that application, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. That motion passes.
I was also sent with a certificate of application.
But I think y'all already filed that, yeah.
Yes, it's already filed. It was filed on, looks like October the 3rd.
Yeah, I think they already got it. Yep, thank you so much.
Thank you. Two. Now we're to application 3.4, Darrell Walker, and this is Sweetie's Barbecue, 401 Texas Street. Application is for blocking off the parking lot. This is page 28 and 29 of your packet. Mr. Who's representing, y'all want to come to the podium?
Hello.
Evening.
How y'all doing?
Tell us what you're wanting to do.
Well, we just want to keep our parking lot blocked off, especially on
Go down.
weekends, Thursday or Friday through Sunday. We've been using cones with caution tape and/or rope. We've had signs up about no parking allowed on our premises for over a year now. And when there are events being held at Onyx, it overflows into our parking lot, and we've had a lot of disruption there. We've had a lot of trash in our area, whatever. We've tried to work with Ms. Gray about it, and it's been to no avail, so we just took it upon our hands to block it off so that we don't have any parking there.
Did the commission, we sent y'all a letter, that's right, okay, that's what prompted this.
The letter came after we had a meeting with the mayor,
Oh, okay.
Ms. Betty Smith and Ms. Rosemary, and during that meeting, it was suggested to us to block the parking lot off, in which we told them, you know, that's what we're already doing. We know that we're using caution tape that may not really be sufficient, but the mayor's eyes kind of got a little big, and he didn't realize that himself, I guess, and then afterwards, that's when Ms. Rosemary came here.
She came
to
last
report it.
month and
Yeah.
presented to us what, in other words, what to do, and what
Right.
we
And-
suggested is that you need more of a permanent way of blocking your lot, since you are in the historic district. And, when she left, she was satisfied with that idea, but I think the question is, you probably wonder what to do.
Right, and that was our whole pointing of the meeting with the mayor and them and Ms. Rosemary at that time, was like, what are some options for us that are feasible for us to do?
If you look
And,
around the historic district in situations like this, there's normally a pole that's probably 32, 36 inches tall, with a hole drilled through it every so often. And you get a chain that runs through that. And then that blocks you off. It's a sturdy, it's not paper caution
So,
tape. Oh,
Well,
excuse me.
okay, so like what Southern Link has right now, they have yellow poles that are secured to the ground, and they have chains that are linking, because they're not operational right now. But they have chains that they can move and allow their vehicles to go back and forth.
Anytime you
But
want
the
to
the
open
spot that we got, sometimes we still use it.
Yeah, you
Right.
want to be able to use it, you're trying to
Yeah.
block it for after hours use.
That's
And I
correct.
think there's a way to design it, you'll just have to talk with some ironwork.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Southern Link has it to where they can move their chains.
You
for
can
their
take the
trucks.
chains down.
Theirs are bolted to the ground.
Yeah, well, I think the thing would be bolted to the ground with a pole, and then the chains could just hook. You keep the chains off when you're in business, and then at night when you want to protect your property.
Holy Cross has a parking lot right across the street from it, up here on Second Street, and that's what they've done. They actually have a gate that they put, and they open it to a certain mass, but they have chains, and they have the poles every so many feet, and they can take them down if they want to, so that you can enter the parking lot, but they have it situated where you have to go through the gates to go through the parking lot. But it is possible, there's even possibilities that you can put these poles in the ground and actually remove them. If you go to the Staney Law Office, and you go through their parking lot, on the other side of their parking lot, they have these yellow poles in the ground, but they're removable. So they had them installed, and that was to keep traffic going from Second Street to the street behind Second, I can't remember the name of it. But those can actually be taken out of the ground, and on a regular day, you wouldn't know they were there.
okay.
So you have two options, but it's really a metal works person that would set that up, and.
And look, we respect your need and desire to protect your property. I would do the exact same thing. And we'll give y'all some, I mean, it's not like we're saying you gotta do this in the next 10 days or something like that. We'll give y'all some time to find somebody and figure it out and find an affordable, reasonable way to do
I
it.
think that's the other issue too,
Yes,
is just
yeah.
it being feasible for us. We're not a big, franchise or company or something like that, and
And they can keep their stuff up, they can keep the barricades up until they find what they need.
Yes, Aaron, I mean, the people that own the storage unit and the place behind Onyx, they came before the commission with a very similar idea, a little more complex than what you're wanting. And I drove by there before the meeting just to see if any of that had been done, and nothing's been done.
They don't.
But you may want to share, and
What they got?
Ms. Rockinette is fine, what they proposed for that parking lot. And like I said, it was a little bit more exquisite, but it was just an ironwork contractor that was going to install it, but they had gates and a little bit more complex than what you're talking
Very
about, but
elaborate.
it was simple. I think the more complicated you get, it's going to be complicated. But what you're asking for or what you're needing is simple.
Okay.
You don't have to, it needs to be, I don't want to say attractive, it needs to be appropriate. Because you're in the district, and the last thing you want to do is take away from your property that has historic value by the fact that it's age and the neighborhood. But you don't have to spend a fortune.
Just
What
a
is it?
simple black pole
Okay.
Yeah.
with
Just
a
black
chain
chain.
going through it. And you can buy the chain at Stein's, you can buy it anywhere.
And just take it down, but there may be a way with a metal person that you could actually put those poles in and remove them during the week or whatever, and just put them back in when you're actually wanting to protect your property.
I mean, I think you could satisfy us with simply a black chain from Stein and, some black poles that, I mean, that would say if you want to do something more extensive, we just, and you need to keep in mind that you don't want a black, simply all black, because at night somebody's not going to see it, they're going to drive into it. So keep that in mind. It has to have some color to it, to warn people of it. But we're not asking for some elaborate, design or anything like that. And we'll give y'all plenty of time
And
to
the
get it
city of
done.
Natchitoches is another example. When they put the Christmas lights up, they put poles on the ground to hang the lights, and they take them out, and they're not big. But I think they're
Yeah, but
starting to
that's
put the
in
lights up now.
grass.
If you look at them, it's the same concept. They just put something in the ground. It's like to drop the pole in, and they actually lock theirs in.
There's a way to do it in concrete, but again, I don't think that's really 100% necessary if you don't want to do that. I think there's a way to get a little metal pole that's, does the same thing that your cone's doing, that you can move in and out,
Just ride throughout the district and take a look at, different, all of these are examples of what's going on in the district, and just see what you would like and what's feasible for you. So just
And
drive
if you
around
go
and
on
see
the
what you
Northwestern
like.
campus and go around Prather Coliseum, you'll see they have them, they're installed permanently, but they're simple, and they're just black, and there's those chains. But that may be another place that you can look just to see what one looks like that's really very plain.
Alumni Center driveway too.
Yeah.
The
Same-
driveway
same
of
as
the Alumni
Prather.
Center on College Avenue is another place you can look. But those are just other examples, but they're simple.
Examples, yeah. So
The
that you don't
pole
have to go
that's
through a
on
big
the
expense
east
of
side,
doing that.
that's a permanent pole, right? The one that's on the east side of the building?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's like an old light pole or something.
You
It
could
doesn't
base
work or
that
anything.
and start
Start
there.
there, right. That was my
and
thought.
Go every so many feet where the chain, because you don't want the things to be so far away from each other, the chain is so heavy that it won't
Right.
stand, and then people will just drive over it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, they may just, on the weekend, they may just drive through it, so you do want it to be sturdy enough, so
But
that they
it's
don't
not-
drive through it.
What was
Knock it
across the
down.
street, they did not, it was a little more elaborate, but it was the same concept. And again, you may want to look at that, but it was not, they were saying the same thing, they didn't want to spend a lot of money, and that was fine.
Whatever you do, just don't let it affect your barbecue. My daughter will string me up. I was
That's why I was
involved in
about to
that.
say, listen.
She loves that place.
I'm not gonna let her get
I would get an ironworks person to come out and just,
Yeah.
and again, we can help with that part, but simplicity is what you're asking for. I think you can get it done for relatively low, and it'll have a lot better look than what you got going on right now. And it's permanent.
Okay.
And I
Honestly,
think
this is
this
the
was
same
just
thing
probably
for Sunday.
desperate measures, just to get
Yes.
something
Yeah.
up there.
Sure, I don't blame you, I would've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Just let us know what we can do to help.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Oh, also, before you go, you did mention that you find a lot of trash and different things on your property.
well-
How are you going to address that? Because even if you have the chains and the poles, there's still gonna be ways they can go under or,
Oh, it's been fine.
oh, has
Once
it?
we
Since
have
put
that up,
It's been fine,
Okay.
like.
So if they're not parking there, they're not dropping their trash there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 2 weeks ago or whatever, like it was like from the, where
From the old car place
where
used
the
to be?
car place
All the
was,
way to
all the
the
way down
underpass.
to the hair, it was full of trash and everything. Ours was, it was fine.
Okay, good deal.
And I had to call a couple of council members to get them to clean that up.
Yeah.
So they're gonna leave it there.
Yeah, well,
Most of the
yeah,
time, they
they
just
don't
leave it
say
there
something
till,
responsible.
till it either blows down the street or whatever.
Well, we are so sorry that's happening to you guys. And-
But what you're wanting is not complicated, and so
Okay.
don't think you have to go into
Okay.
debt over it. It's just something, you're trying to protect your property, but there's ways to do it, it's really inexpensive.
Okay.
We're not gonna be difficult about it.
Yeah, we're gonna be on your side.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And I imagine application 3.5.
It's same link.
Is that the same thing?
Same thing?
Yeah. But what they have, they actually have, I guess the gentleman is here, they actually have these yellow cylinders, and I think they are installed in the ground, and they do have chains. I thought we had pictures of them, but we don't.
Yeah, we do not, yeah. Casey Toby, Director of Operations for Optimum. So I know it says suddenly, they use it as a dirty word now. So, but yeah, so our facilities group, same kind of deal. So same thing as the walkers, trying to protect our property. It's closed. Someone gets on the property, trips, fall, we're liable. So, and we own that whole block. We own a warehouse, the old training center, which is the blue building, and then also the retail location. So, you know, we had the same thing, trash, drugs, left in our parking lot. We parked there, it was thrown there. And our employees have to clean it up. So facilities got called. They were unaware that we were in the historical district now. So they got called, and that was their response, to put up pretty much a barrier, chains, to keep people out. Now, we got told that, you know, I guess the color, you know, was, it's a bright yellow, and they did it after the fact. So, you know, I'm here to say, okay, well, what can we do to rectify it? You know, does it need to be a different color?
And it's just the cylinders.
Yep.
But like you said, when they need to see something, have something at night to be able to see.
Yeah, I don't know how yeah, I think black is very dangerous if it's just all
Do the
black.
poles come out of the ground?
No.
They have the cars at night when they're, you know, they need to be able to see the colors, if it's
Yeah,
orange or yellow or.
Right. And we had it roped off before, chained off before. They just cut through it.
Because you could put those,
Yeah,
put the
you gotta have the chain.
reflectors
Sound
on
like
it.
they need you to do. Yeah, the other, if you do black, you put
Reflector
reflectors.
strips on them, and when you're coming Washington onto Front, on that building, you'll see those poles on the ground, they just have reflectors on them.
Correct.
And that may give you what you're looking for to protect a car from running over them, but you can paint them black, and put those on it, and it will
Yeah.
deflect.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what this was coming up, or, so I don't know what it looks like, what y'all done over there, so I don't know, and I don't know if anybody else does. I haven't driven by there, looked at it since y'all done it. So without a picture, I don't know if it's something that.
How many poles are there? How many poles are
1,
there?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 right now.
And
Yep.
that's around the retail center.
Correct. They just block off the old retail location right
Okay,
now.
just the retail location.
Would y'all
Well,
have
the
any
plan
problem,
was to go around the complete property.
would y'all have any problem painting it black and then putting some, and leaving some yellow or some reflector on it?
No, sir.
If you just paint them black and put some reflector tape on them, you're fine.
Can be done.
Like a strip of it? Like a strip of that?
Or just hang it.
That's
We were looking at the tractor triangle.
But that's all they have
Yep.
up here on coming into Front Street, and it's appropriate.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a problem.
And maybe y'all can go ahead and put some across the street for your neighbor and get some free barbecue for a little while.
Got you, sweetie.
Sir, is that on both Texas and Fourth Streets?
It is, it's actually on 3 streets. It's Texas, 4th,
Third
and
and Fourth?
3rd.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
It's that whole block right there.
Yeah, that's the total area.
It's a big blue building, the old Optimum store, and then we have a warehouse that sits directly behind it.
Right.
But if y'all were to occupy that building and you start using it, you would take those yellow poles out.
Correct.
So it's temporary until you figure out.
Correct. Well, the blue building they have for sale, get a buyer, somebody backs out, so now it's just there. So it's still on the market, but, yeah.
Well, if y'all paint them black and make those reflectors subject to that, I'd move to approve.
I know, I mean, make it enticing, right? Okay.
Is
that's
that a
easy.
motion? Mr.
Yeah.
Donoho?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Mr. Donahoe, a second from Ms. Robinson to approve them, just paint them black, put reflector tape on them, and
We're good to go.
you're good to go.
Understood. Thank you.
All those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion passes. Okay, other items before the commission, this is one of those that we bring up every year, every 2 years, and it's the signage, predominantly on the Evans lot, on the corner of Williams and St. Clair, and seems like it's rolling over into the Luster's front yard, and headed north on Williams Avenue, and, there's all kinds of signs, it's not just
They're
election
everywhere.
signs, and we've got to
It's everywhere.
address it, but we tend to every year or two have to deal with this.
I went into all of our guidelines and ordinances and things, and it specifically says under, what is this one under? It's under signs, item D. What signs may advertise? No sign of any character shall be displayed in the Natchitoches Historic District unless such sign advertises a bona fide business conducted in or on the premises, and if it does so, not exceeding 50%, et cetera, et cetera. So those signs are not bona fide businesses on that lot, nor are they even in the historic district.
Correct.
And so if you read further on the other page, it says that they're to be notified by the Historic District Commission, which is you. And if they're not taken down within 5 days,
We're gonna
then
remove
your
them.
office can go pull them up.
Right.
Are these political campaign
No,
signs?
these are like
Okay.
plumber 4529, whatever, and
See, normally you
repair,
have them
treat,
up for a certain period of time and then they have to come down, but they're not doing anything on the property.
And
So they
these
really have no
people-
reason to be there.
No.
It's a new breed of people. Some of them we've reached out to, and some of them have been the nastiest people you've ever met. And they put them out on purpose.
Yeah. Well, then
We've had some
just
to
pull 'em
place them
up.
on
Just pull 'em up.
signs.
At one point, they would just take, someone from the city was going by and just picking them all up. I've seen that, I've seen them picking them up.
And I tell you something else we need to address while we're talking about signs at Hana's downtown. On the side of their building, they have this plastic sign that's been there a year that says, "Now hiring." It's always up there. You look at it, Hana's to the left. And that
It's red
needs
and
to
white.
come down.
Is it in the front of the building?
It's on the front of the building.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's been there a long time.
It's been there a long time.
Well, I'd make a motion to recommend, for us to send a letter to comply with the statute. To send a letter asking them to remove their signs or notify them, and then if they fail to do so within 5 days, that y'all just remove it.
The question I guess is, do you notify the business owner or is it
Not
the
the
owner of the land?
land of the Evans.
Mr. Evans.
That's who I think you notify.
Well, what we were doing too was contacting the people that actually put out the signs.
You want to, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're required to do that, but I mean, I think the notice goes.
It's actually, the notice goes to the individual who put
Put
the
the
sign
signs
up,
up, yeah,
not the
according to-
landowner.
Right.
It's the sign,
According to
it's
the
just that person who put the sign up that's in violation.
Do the Evans even want this on their property?
I
Well,
wouldn't think so.
what we've been told is when we call these people, oh, we got permission. Okay,
No.
so nobody
Well,
told us
yeah.
anything about you having permission.
It doesn't make a difference if it's not a bona fide business doing it on the property.
Okay.
That's right, it's
See, the
just,
Evans
it's
usually
black
get
and
caught
white.
up, and it's usually during political season where everybody puts their signs up, and I think it's the Evans that, and I'm not speaking for them, but if I remember one of the conversations before with the commission, they don't desire to get in confrontations with people
Gotcha.
either. And so I think they just turn their head during certain periods, but it's moving into the Luster's property, and what's happening on the Luster side is I believe they're putting it on the city part of the land. So I guess the Lusters are almost caught because they're in front of their house, but it's not on their land.
Gotcha.
Send notice to
Go right
everybody, to Evans and then to whoever put the sign up or to try to notify them. Then if
Yes.
whatever it says, 5 days, they had to remove it, just go ahead and get somebody to take them up from Public Works, I guess.
And I hate that turns into 15 letters, but it's,
Well, it's telephone calls. You just go up
Yeah,
there
but
and
that
write down the
means that-
telephone.
It didn't
number.
require writing.
Ross, that she gets chewed
But
out.
you said that you've done that and they haven't cooperated, is that
But she
correct?
said
Well,
some
what
of the
they
meanest
do,
people-
we'll go and we'll pick them up. We've had some people go and they'll take the signs and they'll nail them up so high till we have to get on top of the truck to get them down.
Yeah.
You know, I guess they have money to throw away like that, but
They're nailing them on the poles?
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want you to have
That's
to
in
get into a
violation
phone call fight with
by
me
itself,
either.
though,
That's
right?
why I'm saying a letter.
But you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
If it's just a
Find
phone
an
number,
address
it
for
just
them, just,
says.
if the statute doesn't require written notice, then just notify them any way you can, or
And if
try.
you- And then if you can't, then
Put it in the newspaper, and that could notify everybody. So I'm sure everybody reads the newspaper. And so
No.
listen, if you, well,
You
let me
think.
hope. Well,
Legally, though, I asked that question, is that possible to put some kind of public notice in the newspaper? and
Yeah.
public-
Everybody has notice of what the statute already
And then
says.
that in the
Yeah.
historic district, and that just allows them all to come down without having to continue this back and forth notifying. Is there a way to put an ad in the paper?
I don't think it's necessary, because I think the public is already charged with knowledge of what the law is, and the law says you can't put these up there. I don't think you have to provide some general notice. that doesn't say written, it doesn't sound like, and so I would just call whatever number's on the sign, they answer, tell them, take your sign down within 5 days. If they don't answer, you'll take it down in 5 days.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Unlike Nicole can make some phone calls and makes.
I just don't want you to fuss that on the phone.
No, right.
Is anything else come from commission?
I have a motion.
A motion for adjournment, Ms. Salter, second, Mr. Donahoe, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No debate.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You all enjoy the rest of your